this is Crusoe, and I've gone through a deep meditation while drinking my brew. Um, I could call this the Human Journal Part 41. I normally don't sound this way because obviously I just finished my brew, but this is Part 41 of the Human Journal. Um, I just want to say that the insights that I got in my meditation, I gone further as much as possible. I didn't have any closed eye visuals, nor did I have any channel experience, but I got insights. Um, I normally be getting insights even when I don't drink my brew. Um, I was just looking at this life period in a different angle too. There's so many angles you can look at life. I've been piecing together about other humanoid beings within consciousness that's in different dimensions. And I've meditated and I was watching some videos, but I've gone further after watching these clips while meditating. I've gone further and further to focus, to really put myself out there. And I'm talking about meditating. Um, Everything, it just was, it was coming together for me while I was meditating. I was looking at the human race. The human race, which I mentioned this in my other clips, the human race is a collective of other humanoid beings. And you see, everything connects between interdimensions, like let's say other dimensions within this dimension that we're in right now. There's other dimensions behind or parallel within this dimension. There's so many layers of life as we know. Um, it's amazing because uh, I'm just trying to pace myself together as I'm recording this. Um, the human race, you see, I'll do my best to give you a rundown on this the best I can. The human race is a collective of other humanoid beings. Okay, every idea or every invention that you could imagine, okay, it is, I will tell you that it is universal. Okay, nothing is new, meaning everything exists, everything. So you feel like you invented something and you think it's a brand new idea. Wow. But this idea that you came up, it's already existed. Um, there's a lot of humanoid beings from different time space has the same idea as you have. And I could just doing my best where to start. The idea of a bed. You think a bed is just what? It's a common thing on earth. You lie down, right? A cushion, right? Or a hospital bed, right? There's other humanoids that has the same similar furniture types as you have. What else? Anything. Communications, computers, anything. What you could think of. A lot of things is universal what humans do because you see within you, you are a part of other versions of yourself, even from a different type of, let's say, a different type of life form. You see, the idea of abduction, people talk about there being abduction, alien abduction. The insights that I got from this is that the beings that, let's say, took you up into their ship, you see, that being is a, it's a, it's another version of yourself. It's another version of yourself that wants to get samples from you. You could believe what I'm saying or not. On the surface part, you're not going to understand this, but that is yourself. Obviously, everything is all as one. I just wanted to tell you that. I just want to tell you that there's many layers of yourself. There's many layers of everything. I'm going to say this. Life itself is a fractal. You see, there's layers of dimensions. Okay, different fractals, let's just put it that way. There's different versions of you. Okay, you could say a fractal on that. There's different fractals of time, meaning there's many layers of time itself. Many layers of time. There's many layers of light. There's many layers of darkness. There's many layers of everything. And you see, consciousness, consciousness, you see, consciousness is just one huge layers of everything. You see the source of life. You see it, see, source of life formed itself in many different versions of itself. You see, consciousness will reach out to you in a different form. It will reach out to itself from a different form and reach out to the human version of consciousness. So if you see a being that looks kind of creepy, right? That's consciousness reaching out to itself. Okay, a lot of things may not make sense to your mind, but it's, see, the human level is, it's just like I always said, it's just one level, and consciousness understands this. Okay, you know, you are afraid of things that you don't understand at a particular level, but deep down inside, you, there's a deeper, a very intense connection and understanding of why of all things exist and why all things happen the way it does. That means all the joy, that means all the chaos, that means everything that you could ever imagine, of everything, all combines into one. There is a multiverse. I told you this before in my other clips. While meditating, I I reconnected to insights that there are other versions of Earth Not the same like Earth, but similar to Earth. But there are other human. There's other race that's just basically another version of humans, just the human level. It's just that it's a different version. Let me just explain it this way. Let's just say you are the human 1.0. There's another version of the human race from a different dimension, the human 1.1. And then you got another version of the humans 1.2. This is just an example to explain to you why I'm saying these things. I saw one of the versions of the human race from a different dimension. That's a planet that's very, very different than this planet. One of the things that highlighted that got my attention, that and there's a lot of it, was that this particular human version don't have religion. It's it's the way they function is very different. They're more kind of like, they understand that they're on the, even on the surface part, they understand that they are as one. They they may do things systematically, but not really. They are more, let's say, they do things creativity, but it's just that they understand the idea of manifestation. Not saying that this human race on here on Earth is lesser. No, everything exists for a reason. Everything, and everything is in place for that particular reason. You see, the human race, which here on Earth is the 1.1.0, you can shift into the 1.1 version if you choose so. You see, because your consciousness, you have to look at it that everything you do, at every decisions you make, you could decide to be closed minded, you could be decide to be open minded, but consciousness itself is orchestrating everything. Everything. All the wrongs and all the rights and everything is orchestrated by consciousness. Consciousness is in many layers of everything because that's its purpose. It doesn't have an explanation so much into why I have to be this way, but it just is. So to go back to what I was saying earlier about this, about the different humanoid beings, yes, I've been getting insights. Yes, those other humanoid beings, you see, consciousness gather all of itself, all of itself, and it done it by transformation to say that yes, I'm going to go through a transformation stage into to the human race from all the versions of different human race, different versions. And that's what consciousness did. Every idea, again, every idea that you think of, everything, all the inventors that created it, of anything, it's already been done. It's ideas are create there's ideas that's been created before you even think about it on this particular human level. You have an idea, boom, but it's already been done. There's different layers and fractals of time. There's a lot of layers of time. I before this moment when I meditated, I understood that when I reconnected about time, how time is energy, and that there's different time track. I got a little bit more insight about time, that it goes through, yes, it goes through different speed, but I'm just doing my best to gather everything I get that I could express here in this clip. You see, Time is tailored into experience. It really is. You see, time goes at a fast speed, time goes at a slow speed, time goes at different speeds. And how each time, you see, I realize more with this experience and just meditating. Time go through, I could say, go through, it's connected with alignment. And that's what time is for me. Time is a connection with what you align with. But you see, because we're all consciousness, we're going to create this setup in terms of aligning ourselves at one particular moment, from one moment to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment. Okay. But there's different layers of time. Okay. You could do something ahead of time, but then there's something, but the very self that done something after already done things in the first place. It's like all things that I'm trying to say is that everything from the past, present, future, yes, is a now. But this what gets complicated for the mind to understand that time. You have to do your best to follow me. What I'm saying. Time is just it's nothing but just it's just all it is. It's just layers. It's just layers of, like I say, layers of thought, and thought is connected to alignment. Synchronicity. Synchronicity also is part of the mechanism of everything. Synchronicity keeps everything connected as one. Or let's just say everything's connected. Let's say you have a thought of something from within you, a thought, right? But then the synchronicity, how it works, the synchronicity plays its role, and it will grab something, even something from a different time, or you could call it a past, or from a different time space. It will bring it right to you to confirm, to tell you that yes, the very thought and the very feelings you have, I'm bringing it to you right here, right now. I do my best to explain. I know what I'm saying could probably get very heady, but if you really get outside of your head, all of this stuff is very simple. It's just that our minds, and see, consciousness understands this. You see, the mind makes it difficult because the mind only goes by facts and calculations. But if you lean towards a spiritual thought, which is consciousness itself, obviously, you will you will be more you will be more loose to understand about all things of life. Time is not what you think. Okay, it's not the clock that you see in a wall. Okay, um, some of you understand this. You see the stars and how the planets all align. Okay, it's that's just a basic part of it about time and alignment. Alignment goes through many levels, even from within. Alignment, when you align yourself with something, is not always it is not always obvious to the eye, to your two eyes. You see, everything is alignment for a reason, and consciousness sets this up. You got to understand about alignment and synchronicity and time. Okay, it plays its part. It plays its part. It's kind of like the stage. You got the lights, you got the cameras, everything goes in together. Okay, the camera faces the stage, and the lights from the top. The light faces the stage exactly where it wants it to be. And that's how the whole thing works on that part. Okay, you see, again, so I just told you about the time, levels of time, the best I could. Okay, there's many, there's so many different, like, And I wanted to say, you see, what's better for me to explain this to everyone is the fractal. Fractal is like endless amount of layers, endless amount of layers. So I told you before, you get fractal of time, you have fractal of light, you have fractal of darkness, you have fractal of all types of dimensions, you have fractals of different worlds, you have fractals of different beings, everything. All of this stuff that I shared to you is infinite. There's never really an end. There's never really a beginning to an or an end. Things go through transformation. But that doesn't mean that in your head you think it's a starting point. No. The essence, the spirit within consciousness is always there. It goes through different changes all the time. It does. Consciousness will put itself into many different versions. So I want to go back to you. I want to go back to tell you about the alien abduction. The the being that you feel that you are afraid, that's you. You you know yourself, and you're going to say to yourself, you're not going to understand on the other level, on the fear-based level, but I feel like I have to go to you, which all of this is consciousness. I'm going to have to plant something in you or take a sample of myself. It is consciousness given right to do that. But this doesn't make sense to the human mind alone. There is really no outside entity have some powers over you. All of those things are connected to you. This requires a lot of people to put down their ego. I know we attach ourselves, okay, and consciousness understands this on this level. We attach ourselves into a body and that we figured that we're going to be afraid because something's going to take something from us. Your body, you figure that your spirit is going to be burned to hell. We're afraid, but then all of those things, like I told you in my other clips, those things are experience. But you know, all those things that you're going through, you feel, and all the chaos things that you're going through your particular experience is there for a reason because you choose that. Everybody, consciousness itself chooses to go through chaos and go through other type of examples for a reason because it's just is. Consciousness could experience many different things at once. You could, again, because we are consciousness, we don't have to experience or tie down into experience. You see, consciousness will say to itself, yes, I'm going to experience, let's say, joy, but then I don't want to experience joy. I want to experience chaos. No, I don't want to experience chaos. I want to experience to be nothing. I want to be absolutely nothing. Or I could observe the idea of time if I want to, but then I don't have to observe the idea of time. Consciousness is truly a multi personality. You see, for those that go through, have different personalities, that consciousness of itself, transformation going into a human form, right? And it will go through this experience in the human form and through someone having multi personality. But you see, it's weird if I break it down just to the human level alone. We look at somebody with multi personality that the person's ill, but the person is not ill. The person's consciousness. Consciousness is multi personality. There's so much stuff that I got some insights, and it was pretty fast. It was pretty fast. I felt that I felt like a small piece of file, a small piece of file that's compounded with endless amount of information that I reconnected with to explain this to everyone, and myself included. As consciousness is reconnected to itself from within. there's so much more about everything. But yeah, I just want to go back. I know I went a little bit far off with the ETs, different humanoid beings, but I just want to tell you that the humanoid, uh, you have to look at it that we put ourselves through this experience being human, okay? We are made up of other humanoid beings. We are made up of other, any life form that exists within consciousness. You got to look at all of these things are nothing but layers. This is the easiest way I could explain. Everything's a layer, but the layers are connected to source. Everything. When you leave your human experience, okay, you are source. You are whatever you choose, whatever consciousness say to itself, even through an individual being. It will say, I'm going to go, I'm going to, I'm going to have, let's just say, here's a better example. Let's just say my pinky decided to shift out of this dimension, but then you see, my pinky, I'm going to have my pinky become maybe formless, or I'm going to shift part of myself, which is the pinky, into another human form or a pinky type from a human body. Okay, maybe it's not a good example, but all I'm saying is that when people pass on, okay, you are still around. You will always be around. You will go in and you will come back either as a human again, you will come back as either a different humanoid being or a different version of a human, or you could become any element that exists, or you could just be formless, or you could be a being that's made up of light, or you could be a being that's made up of darkness. You could be any creature because all of the living existence of everything, things that on a human level you probably won't even think exist, but exist. Or you might just be a being of thought. It's just not, you're nothing but a thought. You have no form, you're just a thought. Conscious, everything connects. Everything connects with source. Everything. Consciousness plays the game to be separated, but consciousness is never separated. It's just the experience. There's no separation of time. There's no separation of light. There's no separation of darkness. There's no separation of stars and planets and galaxies and universe and everything. There's no separation of black holes. There's no separations of layers and layers of the cosmos. There's no separation of anything. Without two eyes, we're going to look at things as far. And nothing is far. Everything is from within. Yes, you could choose the experience, the idea to travel at a long, long journey. You could choose that. But actuality, you're really not going anywhere. You're just here within source. That's it. That's all I have to say for now in this chapter. I will be back for part 42. Take care.